People thought the funeral would be remembered for the long speeches, the decorated uniforms, and the thousands who came to honor a fallen hero. But instead, history remembered something else. A single moment when an old man with shaking hands was turned away at the gates, and a four-star general stopped the entire ceremony for him. None of the guards knew who the old man was. None of them knew what he carried in his heart, and absolutely no one expected that the truth he carried would break the silence of the entire crowd and change the meaning of the funeral forever. The morning sky hung low and grey, the kind of sky that seems to share the sorrow of the people walking beneath it. The memorial grounds were filled with silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of uniforms and the distant murmur of attendees gathering for the state funeral of General Arthur Hayes. A man known across the country as a legend, a symbol of courage, the kind of soldier whose stories echoed in training academies for generations. Amid the polished boots, medals, and perfectly aligned formations, an elderly man slowly made his way toward the entrance gate. His steps were small, but determined. His suit was neatly pressed though noticeably old, and his trembling hand clutched a single red poppy, its petals bright against the dull sky. His eyes carried the weight of memories too heavy for any uniform to bear. He approached the guards with a soft, polite nod. "Son," he said gently, "I need to go inside. I'm here to see the general one last time." The young guard, barely in his mid-20s, stiffened. He had been instructed that only invited dignitaries, military officers, and approved guests were allowed inside. Looking at the old man, he saw none of those things, just age, wrinkles, and a flower. "Sir, I'm sorry," the guard said firmly. "This ceremony is restricted. I can't let you through." The old man's eyes softened, but his voice remained steady. "You don't understand. I must be there. He'd want me there." The guard stepped forward, raising his hand as if blocking traffic. "I don't have time for this, Grandpa. Please step aside." The old man blinked, not offended, simply hurt. For a moment, he stood frozen, staring past the guard at the sea of uniforms and the flag-draped casket in the distance. His lips trembled slightly as he whispered, almost to himself, "I promised him." But the guards didn't hear those words. Or maybe they chose not to. Behind him, the line of attendees grew longer, and the guards became more impatient. One leaned in and said, "Sir, we'll call security if you don't move back." The old man nodded slowly. Stepping aside, his shoulders hunched as though the air had grown heavier. He stood at the edge of the pathway, staring down at the poppy in his hand. The world moved around him, people hurried past him, but he remained still, a ghost among the living. He closed his eyes, letting memories flood back a dusty battlefield, explosions in the night, a young soldier's voice calling his name, and a promise made under fire, a promise he intended to keep today. But as he stood there, forgotten, ignored, dismissed, he wondered if the promise would die with him. Then, just when he thought he would turn away, something shifted in the distance. The marching stopped, whispers rippled through the crowd, and the loudspeakers crackled as someone barked an unexpected order. "Hold the ceremony!" Every head turned. And so did the old man. At the far end of the grounds, a tall figure stepped off the main platform, a man wearing 4 stars on each shoulder. General Marcus Alden, the highest-ranking officer present, walked with sharp purpose, his boots echoing against the concrete as every soldier snapped to attention. But the general wasn't heading toward the podium. He wasn't going toward the casket. He was walking, almost running, toward the old man standing alone near the gate. A murmur swept through the crowd. The guards straightened their uniforms instantly, suddenly aware that something had gone terribly wrong. General Alden halted directly in front of the old man. For a moment, he simply stared, his stern expression melting into disbelief, then into something like grief. "Sir," the general said softly, voice breaking, "is it really you?" The old man looked confused. "Do I know you?" Alden shook his head slowly. "Maybe you don't remember me. But I remember you. Every soldier in our unit remembered you." The guards exchanged panicked looks. They had no idea what was happening. Alden turned to them, his face a storm of anger and disappointment. "You refused TS man entry. You threatened him." The guards swallowed hard, their confidence evaporating. "General, we didn't know. You didn't ask." Alden snapped. "You didn't look. You didn't see." Then, his voice softened painfully. This man saved the life of the very man we are burying today." Silence spread like smoke. The old man's eyes glistened. "I didn't save Arthur," he whispered. "We saved each other." General Alden placed a hand on his shoulder, steady but respectful. "You were his mentor. His first commanding sergeant, the man who taught him everything he knew, the man he spoke about even in his final days. Every medal he earned, every life he saved, he credited to you." The old man trembled. "Hey, he remembered that." Alden nodded. "He requested you personally. He said, 'If Sergeant Miller is still alive, bring him to me. I owe him my life.'" The old man's breath hitched. "I tried to come. They wouldn't let me." Alden shot a cold look at the guards. "Not anymore." With a gentle but firm gesture, the general guided the old man forward. Every soldier in the formation parted, like a river making way for a drifting leaf. Heads bowed, hats were removed. Some eyes filled with tears. When they reached the casket, the old man placed the red poppy on top, his hands shaking as he whispered, "Rest now, Arthur. I'm here." The breeze carried the words away, but their meaning remained, imprinted on every heart present. General Alden stepped beside him and saluted, his voice thick with emotion. "Sir, thank you for coming home." The old man didn't speak. He didn't need to. Every soldier there now understood the lesson. A lesson far greater than rank, uniform, or protocol. Sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones who stand quietly in the background, unnoticed, unrecognized, forgotten by the world. But true honor doesn't fade, true respect doesn't need a uniform, and true loyalty never dies. A promise kept even decades later can stop an entire ceremony. And sometimes, all it takes to change a moment in history is one old man with a poppy and a heart full of memories.